Hi students, today you can listen to the topic heterotrophic nutrition. In heterotrophic mode of nutrition, an organism cannot prepare food on their own. They obtain energy from organic molecules already produced by the autotrophs. However, the autotrophic and heterotrophic form of nutrition differ depending on the type, availability and process of obtaining food materials by the organism. So here heterotrophic nutrition can be of different types like holozoic, saprophytic and parasitic. So what is holozoic nutrition? Here complex food materials are taken in and then broken down into simpler and soluble molecules. Example amoeba, then cow, that's a herbivore. We can call herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, all are holozoic, following holozoic nutrition. Then what is saprophytic nutrition? It's usually saprophytes feed upon dead and decaying matter by breaking down complex materials outside the body and absorbing it. Example fungus, yeast, bacteria. Then third one is parasitic. So here the parasites live either on or inside the body of another organism to obtain their food without killing them. Example tapeworm. Take the cases of orchids or cuscuta is an example, plant parasite. Okay, then nutrition in amoeba. So nutrition in amoeba, the mode of nutrition in amoeba is holozoic and take place with the help of pseudopodia. Pseudopodia is a finger-like extension. So 5 major steps are involved in the digestion or nutrition in amoeba: ingestion, digestion, absorption, then assimilation and egestion. So first one is ingestion. Here amoeba engulf the food when it comes in contact with the cell surface. So pseudopodia fuses over the food particle to form food vacuole. So that is food vacuole is formed. Then next is inside the food vacuole. Here inside the food vacuole, food is converted into liquid form which is readily absorbed by the cytoplasm. So that is absorption. Then the absorbed food is further assimilated by amoeba to use energy for growth, that is assimilation. Then last one is egestion. The undigested material is removed by egestion. So these are the 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion are the 5 steps involved in the nutrition in amoeba. Next, nutrition in human being. So digestion is a catabolic process in which complex and large components of food are broken down into their respective simpler and smaller form with the help of enzymes. So the entire system which performs this process of digestion is known as the digestive system. So in human being, digestive system constitutes a long tubular structure called alimentary canal that is around 7 to 8 meters long, and digestive glands associated with it which secrete various enzymes for the complete process of digestion. So what is alimentary canal? It is a long tube where the entire process of digestion is accomplished. It is an internal coiled tube which runs from anterior mouth to the posterior anus. The complete process of ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion of food material is done within the alimentary canal. So then mouth. It consists of a muscular organ, that is tongue, it is having taste buds. With the help of the taste buds we can feel the taste of the food. Then teeth that helps in cutting, grinding, chewing, and like a mechanical digestion is taking place in that. Then stomach, it is a most dilated part of the alimentary canal, which is situated between the esophagus and the small intestine. Then that is lying just below the diaphragm. It serves as the storehouse of food where partial digestion is taking place. Then, which are the digestive glands associated with the human digestive system? Salivary gland, which produces saliva, salivary amylase, that is converting starch into glucose. Then gastric glands, wall of the stomach, produces HCl that kills the bacteria. Then pepsin, then mucus secreted by the stomach wall protects the stomach from the acidity or the acid produced by the wall only, stomach wall. Then liver, it is the largest gland which secrete bile juice. Pancreas, pancreatic juice. Then trypsin and lipase. The intestinal glands produces intestinal juice. So these are the digestive glands associated with the digestion. Then what are the steps or how this catabolic process is taking place? So the process of digestion initiates inside the buccal cavity or mouth itself. Then from mouth, food is taken into stomach through food pipe or esophagus. So here the alternate contraction and relaxation of the esophagus muscles push the bolus into the stomach. That process, alternate contraction and relaxation of the esophagus or food pipe, is known as peristalsis. Then when it reaches into the stomach, the gastric glands in the stomach produces gastric juice containing HCl and 2 protein digesting enzymes, that is pepsin, that convert proteins into peptones in acidic medium of gastric juice. Then semi-digested food is then passed into small intestine. The small intestine produces intestinal juice and receives bile and pancreatic juice from liver and pancreas. So here absorption of the digested food is taking place by the intestinal villi. So that is present in the small intestine, that increases the surface area of intestine and helps in the absorption of digested food. Then bile juice, that emulsification of fat is done by the bile juice. Pancreatic juice contains trypsin and lipase, breaking down the emulsified fat. Enzymes in intestinal juice converts proteins into amino acids, then carbohydrates into glucose. Amino acids are converted into fatty acids. Then in small intestine, digestion of food gets completed. So then finally, that addition, the process of elimination of undigested food formed in the lumen of the large intestine through anus is called adgestion. The unabsorbed food is sent into large intestine where more will absorb water from the material. Okay, so these are the major steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and adgestion. Then in the first video I have given some questions. For that, the answers I have given, and based on this video also I have given some questions. You can write the answers, and this answer is first self-assessment answer. Here advantages of leaf, that is large surface area, presence of chlorophyll, presence of stomata. Then how guard cells are helping, that is opening and closing of stomata occur due to the changes in the turgid pressure of the guard cells. When guard cells are turgid, the stomatal pores are open, while in flaccid form the stomatal pores close. Then the next question was why is diffusion insufficient to meet the oxygen requirements of multicellular organisms like human beings? That is, multicellular organisms such as human beings have complex body designs. They have specialized cells and tissues for performing various necessary functions of the body, such as intake of food and oxygen. Unlike unicellular organisms, multicellular organisms are not in direct contact with the environment. Then the last two questions, reaction of photosynthesis. Then what is the similarity between starch and glycogen? And this is the second self-assessment questions. Thank you.